Hola, senors and senoritas. Welcome to the Southern Airs Tyler Jeffers 1 McDowell Air Dual Service. And I'm here in Malaga again. Why am I back here in Malaga? Well, I did a vlog here about 2 years ago, back in 2023. Put it out on the channel, but there was somewhere that I did want to feature, but I didn't have a chance to. It just didn't work out on that particular trip. However, I'm back here for a day, here in Malaga. I'm going to show you around the Aero Museo, or the Aviation Museum here just off Malaga Airport. It's here by the VIP terminal, and on a good day you can either get planes taking off just above here, or there is a viewing area down at the museum where you can actually see them land, which they're actually on the correct runway for today, which is really good. So without further ado, enough of me waffling, let's go check it out. So the Malaga Aviation Museum is basically on the grounds of what used to be the old airport terminal and the old apron. So if I just turn around here, that is what used to be the main terminal building for Malaga Airport before it modernised later in the 20th century. Right, I'm just at the reception. I'm just going to sort my entry out, and let's go see some planes and exhibits. So cool. So I'm currently inside the finished Cam-Air Convair 440 Metroliner Metropolitan, which is basically almost identical to the one at Helsinki Airport at the Finnish Aviation Museum, which I've also featured on the channel. This one's obviously set up to showcase the restoration of this airplane, which is really cool. And they've even got this little exhibit on Car Air, a long defunct Finnish holiday airline that was very prominently down here in Malaga during the 60s and 70s. So that there was very, very cool. Got to go inside the Malaga Aviation Museum's Convair 440 Metropolitan. It's so cool to go inside this one, especially having done the one up in Helsinki. Now, you can't see it, but there is a de Havilland Dove over here, and I think it's under restoration. If we just come over here, I'll get a better view in a moment, but we have a Beechcraft 18 over here, and this is painted in the livery of Spantax, which was a very popular Spanish early budget airline, like a holiday airline. Spantax is now long since gone. They disappeared in the late 1990s, but at one point they were literally the second largest airline in Spain, which has now been taken up by Aeropuerto. Like I said, you can't go in there at the moment, it's a street there where they're doing work, but that's the Havilland Dove. I can only just about get to it. And another super cool thing about this part of the museum is if you come down to this fence, you see all the business jets getting ready to go out. This is all the VIP tunnel. At the moment they are actually landing, so the flight path are actually just landing behind me as well. Hopefully I might be able to get something landing for you. This building's exhibit is kind of based on the golden age of air travel. So we're going back to the days of the early jets, turboprops, the old-fashioned uniforms. Yes, there's even a little section here. It's a bit dark, but I don't know if you can make it out. But there are some vehicles in here, some ground vehicles. I don't know if you can go in here or not because the lights are all off. Now, back in the days before, you know, like direct travel with budget airlines and stuff like that, these little turboprop planes would have had to have done these aerial bus routes. So, for example, this one showcases an early passenger post route that would have taken it from Casablanca, Rabat in Morocco, all the way up to Malaga, across to Alicante, via Barcelona, then finally terminating in Toulouse, taking you along the Iberia Peninsula, Morocco and southern France. Now this thing you see here is one of my favourite aeroplanes, or should I say what's left of it. This is an Iberia DC-9 cockpit and forward section. Now, before the A320 arrived in the 90s, Iberia was a very long time loyal McDonnell-Douglas customer, having operated the DC-9 in various forms, as well as the McDonnell-Douglas MD-80, which was the successor. However, come the 90s, instead of investing in the MD-90 or the Boeing 717 as it became, they swapped to Airbus, which was unfortunately a common trend for European airlines, and it eventually killed off or contributed to the downfall of McDonnell-Douglas. This DC-9 was a 32 model, which is the DC-9 32 being very common in Spain and Iberia. That's the name of the aircraft, or what the plane's named after, and its registration was Echo Charlie, which is designating for Spain, and its remaining three letters forming Charlie Golf Oscar. There are a few DC-9 nose sections preserved around Spain, ex-Iberia and a few other airlines, but I think we should go inside and have a look, because you can actually get inside this very DC-9. So here we are in the cabin of one of my favourite airliners of all time, the Douglas DC-9, or latterly it would be known as the McDonnell-Douglas MD-80. As you can see, very vintage seats, as would have been expected on the DC-9 in the 1990s. Very retro overhead bins as well. But the DC-9, unlike the A320 and the 737, had a 2x3 configuration economy, which in some ways kind of contributed to the decline of the aircraft in the 20th century, as it just struggled to compete with the 737 and the A320 family, which offered 6 abreast seating for a similar sized plane. Oh, and here we are in the business end of a Douglas DC-9. So look at that bright green cockpit. It's kind of like the old Soviet airliners, like the Tu-154 and the 134. They used to have these bright green metallic cockpits, although the MD-80 went with a more conventional brown livery on their flight decks. Very cool. You don't get to do this every day. Here's a little tail of that particular DC-9 that we're currently stood in. This plane last flew in 2002, which sounds about right for the DC-9. Iberia used the MD-80 through to 2008, and the A320 has now since taken over. But yeah, there are still a few odd DC-9s flying, including one in the US that's converted for skydiving. You can actually jump out the back. There's a converted back door on a cargo DC-9, which is pretty cool. So in the room where the DC-9 cockpit is, they have these various uniforms. So we got some military flight uniforms, we got some old cabin crew uniforms. Over here we got a handful of cabin crew uniforms of the past, including Air Nostrum, which now operates on behalf of Iberia Regional. Binter Canarius, they operate around the Canary Islands. Viva Air, not sure who they are. And we've got a 90s Iberia uniform, some varying hats. Very cool. And obviously we got model aeroplanes, including mock-up of an airport down there. There's a massive Spantax aeroplane up there. I think that's a DC-6 or a DC-7 it's based on. It doesn't quite look like a Britannia. Britannia's never really flew for Spanish Airlines. If we turn around, we see some more vintage uniforms, including Scandinavian Airlines and the now defunct Spanair. Now, I have a very extensive collection of aeroplane models, but even I feel very jealous at the look of this collection. Like, this collection is just absolutely fantastic. All these different 747s, TWA and Pan Am, FedEx, Qantas, we got Air France, Virgin Atlantic, Alitalia, Air India, like proper good Air India livery. This is my all-time favourite paint scheme, the bowling shoe from Northwest Airlines. Also, we got the Springbok era South African livery from the apartheid era. Oh yes, Britannia Airways 757s. These used to be very popular around Malaga and Alicante in the 90s. Varying 737s, MD-80s, DC-9s down there. Gonna run through all the airlines because there's just way too many. And if that wasn't enough, there's a load more over here. American Airlines MD-80, I've flown one of those. Qantas 707. Watch the Qantas Founders Museum we shot because I do take you inside one of these. Okay, now I'm just completely jealous. Look at that. Dan Air London BAC 111 Snapfit model. I would love to have that model. Another cool one down here. Eastern Airlines Lockheed L1011 TriStar. Douglas DC-10, another favourite aircraft of mine. And down here we've got stuff like the Boeing 767, which is at one point, again, another common aircraft that used to fly in out of Malaga and southern Spain quite a bit as a, holiday, favourite aircraft for holiday airlines. Airlines used to love the 75 and 767 back in the day. But sadly, it's a type that is almost no more. It's pretty much all A320s and 737s. So this plane appears to be a microlight. I wonder if this is actually what the complete thing looks like and not like a restoration. According to the tell, this is a Coyote. And wow. Talk about very basic infrastructure. It's like this thing is literally like a push bike with wings. I wonder if I could convince Matt or Mitch to have a flight piloting this thing. Okay, I'm going to be the first person to confess that I'm not a qualified pilot, but that plane definitely looks like it's seen better days. Oh, and here's another really cool thing about Malaga Airport and the Malaga Aviation Museum. It is right underneath a San Miguel brewery. And yes, that is a C-47 Skytrain, dressed up as an Iberia Douglas DC-3. So I say we go over and have a closer look. So I'm obviously in the presence of this Iberia DC-3, and this is where the long-standing relationship between Iberia and the Douglas Corporation, later McDonnell-Douglas, started all those years ago. There was literally hardly any major airline back in the day that didn't fly a DC-3. In fact, there's so many of these things still flying that the rumour has it, when the last 747 jumbo jet goes off to the desert, there'll be a DC-3 waiting to pick the crew up. I can smell San Miguel coming from that brewery. It's almost as impressive as looking at this DC-3. Now, it looks like you can get inside this DC-3 sometimes if they got the volunteers, but I don't think it's open today. So, oh well, I've had the Convair, I've had the DC-9. I really can't complain too much if I don't get inside the DC-3. So in this building, this particular area is full of airport equipment, day-to-day stuff. These are all old, obviously retired models, but this is the sort of gear that keeps a major airport like Malaga running day after day. If we come in here, we have what looks like a very small helicopter and, oh my. Oh, good heavens, that is a Airbus A380 engine. Ooh, Trent 900. Yeah, I completely forgot how big the A380 engines are until you get right up close to them. And I think by comparison, that is the sort of engine, a Pratt & Whitney, that was used to power the DC-9s. Couple of experimental gliders and planes there. Very neat. And here we have a flight data recorder, which is one of the two black boxes you find on an aeroplane. As you can tell, the aforementioned black box is actually bright orange stroke red colour. Obviously it's to make them visible in the event of a crash, so if the plane's completely charred up and broken to bits or at the bottom of a dark sea or lost in a snowy mountain or something, you can easily spot that. I think the reason they're called the black boxes is literally because in a lot of cases, especially in the early years of flight, when these things first got introduced, they were called black boxes because you were literally listening to the voice of the pilots who very likely didn't survive the accident, even if some of their passengers and cabin crew did. And here we have some old radar equipment. Obviously they've got FlightAware providing information. I think this is real time. So as you can see, we got an aeroplane due in and we got at least two planes going out. And there's a plane cruising. Yeah, I think this is more of a 1970, maybe 1980s, 90s era radar. Obviously this one's been retired to the museum. And if you want to go back even further, this probably dates back to the 1960s, another very, even more basic radar. So it'll be very interesting to see if Malaga Airport donates some more modern, up-to-date radar for comparison when it comes time to upgrade the systems again. So this is a diagram of what Malaga Airport used to look like. Obviously that building now forms part of the museum, but that was the main terminal. And then you come out onto the grass and early tarmac and you get on your DC-3 Dakotas, your Ju-52 transporters and other period aircraft of the time. And you'd fly off to passengers new wherever you went. Now if we swing over here, this is a representation of what the modern Malaga Airport looks today, although these are not period or anatomically correct aeroplanes. That's basically what the modern Malaga Airport looks like. Very neat. I said about plane spotting here earlier, and as you can see I'm on this lovely little terrace just in front of the two airliners over here, because as you can see we have a plane spotting location where you can see arrivals and departures depending on the runway. Neat stuff. Well, I hope you enjoyed that short little review and show around of the Malaga Aviation Museum. There is a bit more to see here, but I'm going to keep that off the vlog because I don't want to spoil the whole thing for you. I want you guys to come down and see it. Now, just so you know, this place does open most days between 10 and 2 p.m. Tuesdays they're open from 10 to 8. I don't know why exactly those days, but if you have time, you're here early morning in Malaga, definitely come give this place a visit. Definitely worth coming out your way for. All right, I shall see you in the next one. Safe travels, my friends, and thank you for watching.